All right, Dal, let's jump into a little segment we like to call Heaters.
All right, Em. This is my heater. I dare you to hit it.
Hot shit. I'm going too hot, lady.
Here come the hot stepper.
All right, Heaters, Week 9, brought to you by DenverSportsBetting.com. Make sure you guys check out Denver Sports Betting before the MMA card this weekend. You got a nice MMA card coming up. Thiago Santos.
Glover Teixeira.
Versus Glover Teixeira in the main event. Ian Heinisch is fighting on the card. Andrei Arlovski's fighting on the card. It's a pretty decent card this weekend.
Brandon Allen?
Yeah, so go check out DenverSportsBetting.com. They have an MMA show on there. They have MMA articles. You can go ahead and get yourself an edge for the fight card. Also, maybe some college football content. Our Heaters NFL content will be on there as well. It's DenverSportsBetting.com. All right, Dal, what do you got here for your first one?
It's interesting that we're talking about the Jaguars and the Texans being the 1-6 teams, right? Because one of them is going to have to win this week, and my vote. Jacksonville has lost 5 games by 8 points or more, all teams with losing records. There's a good chance that rookie Jake Luton starts for Jacksonville, with Gardner Minshew still hurt. The Texans take advantage of the big QB edge to gain some respect under interim coach Crennel. Houston, -7.
Straight cash, homie.
Giants at Washington FC. I call them Washington FC now, by the way.
Okay.
Kind of like soccer, but Washington Football Club.
It's confusing, but I get it.
I guess it could be Washington FT, which is, that's the real abbreviation.
That's probably what I would do, but whatever.
Washington -2.5 this week. It was surprising to see the Giants play so competitively the other night. We talked about it on Monday night against the Bucs. I don't think anyone was expecting that. That's part of the reason I love Washington this weekend. Washington coming off a bye while the Giants just exhausted themselves in prime time and still didn't get it done. I think we might see a little bit of a letdown by them here. Maybe they're a little bit deflated. Washington lost to the Giants in Week 6, 20-19. But don't think for a second that the Washington offense was outplayed by Daniel Jones and company, because they weren't. In fact, Washington outgained the Giants 357 to 240 yards in that game. They lost because Kyle Allen's 2 turnovers turned into 14 points for the Giants, if you remember that one in Week 6. New York, otherwise, they had just 6 points by themselves. Without the defense, without the turnovers, 6 points. That's not going to get it done. I don't see the same result happening again this week, especially in Washington with them having some extra time to prepare off the bye. Washington -2.5.
Straight cash, homie.
Oh, buddy. All right. Well, let's go to mine then. I've got 5 on it with you because I am taking Giants +2.5 this week. New York is currently on a 1-7 record. There is reason to think that they might actually be the best team in their division, sadly. The Giants have not caught a break all year, with their last 3 defeats being by a grand total of 6 points. They've edged the football team 20-19 when these teams met last month. Their defense in particular has looked tremendous, only allowing 3.7 yards per carry on the ground. Giants haven't been great on offense themselves, but have showed some signs of progress against Tampa Bay's strong defense and should, at the very least, be able to keep this one close. Giants 2.5.
Straight cash, homie.
All right, head-to-head on that one.
5.
I like it. The spread is crazy high. Steelers at Cowboys. Steelers -13.5. I normally don't like to take spreads this high, especially the road favorites. Steelers are on the road against the Cowboys, but I just don't see how the Cowboys keep it competitive here. It's not Andy Dalton because he's been placed on the COVID list. Correct. It's not Ben DiNucci because he's been benched. So you know who they're starting this week?
Never heard of him.
Cooper Rush or Garrett Gilbert. They don't even have a decision yet.
Right.
Honestly, doesn't matter who it is because the Cowboys' offensive line's been ravaged anyway. They're going to be missing both of their tackles. They're facing TJ Watt and Bud Dupree. You got best defense and arguably the best defense in the league. One of the best defensive lines in the league and pass rush in the league. I hate to cover 2 touchdowns, but the Cowboys have lost the last 3 games, 23-9 against Philly, 25-3 against Washington, 25-3 against Washington, put up 3, and that's the game Dalton was in and he got hurt. And then they lost 38-10 against Arizona. How are they going to keep this thing closer than those games against the team that many consider to be the best in the NFL right now? I think Pittsburgh turns into Blitzburg this week, and it doesn't matter who's at QB, they're in trouble. Steelers, -13.5.
Straight cash, homie.
This was my least confident pick, but I am riding with you on this one. Dude, Blitzburg is absolutely correct. You have not seen a more complete team this year.
Makes me really nervous now.
I know, right? You have, because now Dallas is on it, so that means the people are on it. Check this out. You have not seen a more complete Ben Roethlisberger. He is playing his best football. He is taking care of the ball. He is protecting the ball. The defense is out of their damn minds. This spread against a Dallas team who struggles on all sides. Coaching, culture is not good. Injuries are not good. COVID list is not good over there. I don't know what Dallas has. And by the way, Ezekiel who? I'm riding with you on this one, Pittsburgh as well.
Straight cash, homie.
Next one up for me, Dolphins at Cardinals. I think this Dolphins team is the most underrated in the league right now, and particularly their secondary. Ever since their top corner Byron Jones returned, the Dolphins have surrendered 17 points, 0 points, and 17 points. That was to the Niners, Jets, and Rams. Has Arizona really impressed you? Kyler Murray, I know they have 5 wins, but they've lost games to Carolina and Detroit. Miami could beat both of those teams. The real question mark here is Tua. He didn't have a great game last week because he didn't have to do much. The Dolphins D and special teams dominated the Rams from the jump. That being said, the Rams pass rush was a much more difficult matchup for Tua last week than they will have here against the banged up Cardinals defensive front. Right. I like Miami to keep the dub train rolling and win this one outright, so I'll definitely take them plus the 4 points. Miami.
Straight cash, homie.
For me, next one, Seahawks versus Bills. Russell Wilson, clearly looking like the MVP favorite. Wilson bounced back from a tough game against Arizona, who we just talked about. Seattle's only setback this season by throwing for 4 touchdowns without getting picked off. The Bills are giving up north of 25 points, per game. If Allen takes advantage of a Seahawks defense that's giving up 461 yards per game, they may have a chance, but Seahawks possibly getting back Jamal Adams this week takes any shine off of Allen possibly improving. Dude, I hate the long travel from west to east, but Seattle has late game winning drive to cover the spread. I'm taking Seahawks.
Straight cash, homie.
Yeah, usually that's your go-to. I thought you were going to be going against Seattle this week because of the west to east travel and early game. They got to kick it off at 11 a.m. our time. That's 10 a.m. for their body clock on the West Coast.
When you got an MVP, I ain't worried. And Jamal Adams, I think is a real big help. If Jamal Adams, I feel even better about this, but we'll see if Jamal Adams plays this week.
I'm with you on this one. I think it's not really as much about Seattle, Jamal Adams, Russell Wilson, all that stuff. It's more about what I haven't seen from Buffalo over the past few weeks. I mean, a blowout loss to Tennessee, 42-16. Blowout loss to Kansas City, 26-17. Limping across the line against the winless Jets, and they couldn't even score a touchdown in that one. They put up 18 points, 6 field goals.
6.
Buffalo. Josh Allen, I told you, I'm a fantasy owner. He's been frustrating me.
Right.
And last week, they would have lost the game against the Pats, but Cam Newton coughed the ball up in the red zone. And that was without the Pats having Stephon Gilmore on the field. I talked about the Patriots not playing him last week. So this is a Bills team that's supposed to beat the red-hot Seahawks and Russell Wilson, getting Jamal Adams back probably this weekend. I just don't see it. Yep. I know I'm on too many favorites this week. I'm with you on the early game here. Seattle, -2.5.
Straight cash, homie.
All right, for my last one, let's finish off with a dog. Let's go Ravens versus Colts. NFL teams are 1-6 this season after facing the Steelers, dog. And I'm only mentioning that because the Ravens played the Steelers this past Sunday. Is this more consistent and more contagious than COVID? Take the Titans, for example. First Pittsburgh Week 7 and Week 8 lost to the Bengals. The Colts continue to be surprisingly good, especially on defense. And with Hollywood Brown being Lamar's biggest legit target, it's not been enough for a versatile offense that the Ravens were expected to have. And the trade deadline was also no help for the Ravens either. The Colts D has intercepted more passes than the number of touchdowns they've allowed, along with one of the top run Ds in the league. If Rivers takes care of the ball against the Ravens, the Colts not only cover the spread, but win the game outright. I'm taking Colts +2.
Straight cash, homie.
And that line is dropped. It was at 3. They were +3. So it looks like you're getting some good action coming in on the Colts. I'm not sure if that's public action or if that's big money out from the Sharps, but you're getting some action there driving down the line. All right, I'm going to finish up here with Raiders at Chargers. This is another one that started out with an advanced line, and now it's down to a pick'em. The Chargers should have won the game last week against Denver, and that was without 2 of their starting offensive linemen, and Denver's got a pretty good pass rush. They should have both of those guys back this week, so I think that bodes better against the Raiders. Also, speaking of O-line, the Raiders' Trent Brown just got released from the hospital 2 days ago. Crazy. Remember, he had that mishap pregame last week? He was getting an IV. NFL trainers botching shit. So he just barely got out of the hospital. I don't know if he's going to play this Sunday or not. I'm a little bit worried because Joey Bosa also might not play this Sunday. He went out with a concussion against Denver last week. He's currently in the concussion protocol. That's up in the air. I would love it if we got Bosa back this week. But either way, since the line started at -3 and now it's down to a pick'em.
Crazy.
There we go. And why would that be? Why would they come all the way down? You know why? Because you guys are crazy. The public is absolutely nuts. The public is hammering the Raiders all because the Chargers blew a 17-point lead last week after Bosa went out. And Vegas won against Cleveland last week. They should not have won against Cleveland. They scored 1 touchdown, and Jarvis Landry dropped 3 touchdowns. Shouldn't even have won that game. I like the Chargers this week to get the AFC West dub. They've been getting snubbed every week. They're finally going to get a win this week. I like the Chargers on a pick'em.
Straight cash, homie.
Dal has the Texans -7. He's on the Giants +2.5. Against me, I'm on Washington -2.5. We're on the Steelers together -13.5. We're on Seattle together -2.5. He's on the Colts +2. I'm on the Dolphins +4. And the Chargers at a pick'em. Those are the 5 for this week. Those are your heaters. Week 9 brought to you by DenverSportsBetting.com.